And welcome to this Python programming course. Just let me switch on my video. Yeah, so welcome to this Python programming course. And yeah, so today we will learn about Python programming. Basically, it will be an introduction lecture to everyone. Is my screen visible to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so first I would like to basically ask you guys who all have joined from laptops. I hope everyone is joined from laptops, right? Is anyone someone who has joined via mobile?
Yes, sir, I am in mobile.
Okay, no issues, no issues. So for the people who have joined via mobile, no issues. You can still try to understand what we are teaching right now, although everything will be visible. Okay, but what I would suggest is like try to join via laptop because you have to do coding as well. Okay, so it basically you always have to also go along and try to do the coding stuff with me. So today we will go and first of all we need to download this Anaconda. Okay, before that, I will just give you a brief introduction what Python is. Python is basically a programming language, as you all might have understood earlier. Now, using Python, you can do a lot of stuff, which we have showcased in the demo lecture. You can develop websites, you can develop AI, artificial intelligence, you can develop your own chatbots, you can do web scraping, you can do automation, you can do a lot of stuff. So right now in the world of programming, all people who are in relation with data science, machine learning, web development, game development, app development, everyone is using Python for doing their own development, right? Okay, so everybody is comfortable with English, right? Does somebody have, and you guys can be interactive, by the way. Please raise your concerns if you have, you can interrupt me at any point of time. Okay, so
yeah, maybe one suggestion, maybe if you can have it like in English and Hindi both. I mean, if it would be a mixture, I mean, it would be great.
yeah, we can do that. So whenever it is required, I can also speak in Hindi as well, whenever like if you guys have any doubts or anything. Okay, so the first thing which I would like you guys to do is go to Google. Okay, go to google.com and please have your laptops on your side as well, guys. Go to google.com and search for Anaconda download. Okay, when you search for Anaconda download, you have to go to the first site. Okay, go to the first site and you have to click here. You have to download for your own own operating system. So I suppose everyone would be on Microsoft, right? Like Windows. Since I am using Mac, that is the only reason why I am getting this option. But if you are using this Windows, any operating system, then it would be a download for Windows. You just have to download it. Can everybody follow this process step and let us know? So what is this, by the way, Anaconda distribution? This basically is a tool where you will run your Python programs. Okay, so when we say run your Python program, so basically whenever we try to do any development, okay, you have to download. Like suppose if you are using if you want to create a document, right, you will use Microsoft Word. Suppose if you want to create a PowerPoint presentation, you will use Microsoft PowerPoint, right? Similarly, if you want to do coding and if you want to develop any program, run it, test it, and deploy it somewhere, then you have to use a IDE, which is integrated development environment. In our case, this is nothing but toolkit, which is called as Anaconda. Now, don't get confused that what exactly this is Python, like Python is a snake, Anaconda is again a snake. Why are they naming all this? This is just a naming convention, nothing else. You can download this and let me know if you guys have any doubts.
So I have downloaded, but just one question. I mean, is this a base of Python that needs to be, run, or kind of a prerequisite to install Python? Because I've installed Python previously, but I have never installed like Anaconda,
So
this.
yeah, so what this does ना Dishan bhai, ये मतलब basically करता क्या है कि this basically gives you the entire package, whatever it is necessary for you to do the development. You don't have to then individually go and download each and every package. So we will deal with a lot of packages.
Like
So
libraries?
yeah, all libraries, all
Okay.
packages, all everything. So it
Okay.
comes with pre-installed with all the most fundamental, whatever you require, it comes pre-installed. So
Okay.
it will automatically install Python for you and it will automatically install all those packages for you.
Okay, so if I install this Anaconda distribution, I mean, it will by default install Python package for me.
Yes, Python and its whatever
Packages.
packages. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So whoever has laptop, please go to this. Okay, download it. And once you have downloaded it, now just keep it aside. You don't need to install it right now. What today we will do? Today we will go to google.com and search Google Colab. Okay, you have to search Google Colab. Now, once you search Google Colab, okay, you have to go to the first link. Welcome to Collaboratory. If you click on the first link, it will ask something like this. You just have to make sure that you are logged in via your Gmail account or via Google account, basically. Is everybody following this process? Any doubts until now? If you guys have doubts, please do let me know, because this will take some time, but this is necessary so that we set up the environment for Python and Python's code execution. For all the guys who have logged in with laptop, are you able to see something like this once you search Google Colab and say welcome to Collaboratory? Any doubts, guys? You can unmute yourselves and you can ask, or at least be interactive.
Just signing into the Google Colab at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, got the same page as you are in right now.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else, guys? Please be interactive. At least the ones who have joined via laptop. This is a very essential step. It's not like I will just be showing you the code how it is done. You have to do it for yourself. Then only you will learn. So don't hesitate. English में ही बात करने जरूरी नहीं है, हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हो, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. आप जो अगर कोई डाउट है तो प्लीज पूछिए. Okay, I'm considering that everyone is following the process. Okay, so once you are here, you just have to say new notebook. Okay, once you click on new notebook, it will automatically take you to a page where you don't need to install anything and you can directly run Python programs. For example, I'm running here print hello Python programmers. Now, if I run this, I have given an input, okay, to Python to print it in the console. Okay, so it will take some time because it is the first initial, it is connected. Now, if you could see, it will show me the output which says, hello Python programmers. As easy as it is. Just have to say print all small.
Can you show it once again?
Yeah, sure. You just have to go to Google, okay, and after going to Google, you have to say, you have to search for Google Colab. Once you search for Google Colab, you have to click on the first link. Once you click on the first link, you will be presented with screen. ऐसा screen आ जाएगा. ये screen आने के बाद, you have to just click on new notebook here. ये जो new notebook है, just have to click it here. Is everybody following this? If anybody has any doubts or anything, please do let me know. By the way, this you can do using mobile also. Only thing is the multitasking will be little thing, but yeah, you can also try doing this on mobile as well. You can load it up on your mobile as well. Okay. You just have to say new notebook and it will automatically redirect you to a page where you can directly write your code here. For example, this here I can say print again. I will ask, are you guys understanding? It will take some time because it is connected to an environment. Yeah, you can see that all the RAM and everything is coming up here. So basically Google is basically providing you an environment, a development environment free of cost for running Python programs. You have been given approximately 13 GB of system RAM and disk space of 110 GB approx. And Python comes pre-installed.
Sorry, Shadir. So when we get the window, the first window where we can see example, recent, Google Drive, where we need to click?
Okay. New notebook. You have to click on new notebook. Like this, huh?
Yeah, here.
You have to click on new notebook. Here.
Okay. Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any doubts, guys? Has everybody able to see the screen?
Shadir, once we got into the new notebook, what is the next procedure?
Yeah, so once you have been here, you should be able to see screen like this. You should be able to see screen like this, like where you can write on the ideally what you will be able to see a screen like this, right? Just let me know once you have come
Yes.
here, right?
Yes, it's showing like this.
Yes. Once you have come here, what you need to do is just write a simple program, print hello world.
Hello.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah. Initially, we have joined from the desktop. Due to some
Okay.
reason, like the audio was not working.
Okay.
So my brother have some doubt.
Yes. Yeah, tell me.
So
Yeah. So what is the doubt? Okay. Yeah, so is everybody following this, or should I call out the name and ask, is everybody able to do this? Saad, are you able to do this? Mohammed Saad, are you able to follow through it? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please be interactive, guys. Please, this is a request. Until and unless you guys are not interactive, it won't work out. There will be a lot of doubts coming up and you have to follow through it. Okay. So the first line of code which I want you guys to write is this. I'm also sending this on chat. Don't copy paste it. I'm just sending it so that you guys are able to. Just a minute. Done. Okay. Print hello world. This will be your first line of code which you will write today. So what it basically does is that it takes a string or basically a letters as your input, and whatever you give it, it will just print out. And understand that Python is a programming language which is also called as a pseudo English programming language, because whatever we will see, okay, whatever we will see, it will Okay. Whatever we will see, it will always be as if you are reading English. Like here, like suppose if I want to print something, I'm using a function called as print. Okay. Print hello world. What it does, what does this function do? It just takes whatever string. It can be numbers, it can be your name, it can be your it can be anything, it can be any number, any letter, any character, anything in the world, and it will just print that out. Okay, this is the first code. So suppose if I want to print my name, I will just say print Mohammed Shadir. You guys can also try printing your name, and please, whenever you have done the code, please send it on the chat here. I will also be monitoring the chat as well. Please आप एक बार आप यहाँ execute करने के बाद आपके लैपटॉप में आप chat section में आके आपका code copy paste कीजिए. Is everybody able to follow this? Can you guys give me a thumbs up? Not the actual thumbs up, but like yeah.
Yes, so we are following it. I mean, but the only thing I am not able to get it, like you said function, right? I mean, when to use functions exactly? And yeah, so if you can give.
Yeah, I can give you example. So function, when we say functions, right, like as the name indicates, you will just use functions whenever it is required, whenever you think that this function can solve your purpose. Okay. So function is basically something like what is the function of a rice cooker? What it will do? It will take raw rice as an input. It will cook the rice and give you boiled rice as an output, right? So its function is basically to cook rice. Similarly, when we say functions in Python, what it does, it takes some input, okay, does some internal processing, whatever that function is intended to do, jo bhi wo function karna chahta hai, and it gives you some output. So for example, in this case, this print function, what it does, ye kya karta hai ki it takes any number, any string, any character, any word as an input, and tells the Python to print it on the output. Here you can see the output here. Right? Similarly, we have many functions, but for starting point, a programmer will always write or basically show the output hello world. So this is what we have done here. So you can print your own name, you can print your khala's name, you can print your anything. You can also print numbers. If I print here, then like you can do anything. Like you can basically print any type of and obviously where get used. So whenever you are writing a long programs, right? Whenever you are basically trying to manipulate some data, trying to have complex logics, okay, then you need to understand what exactly is going inside Python function. Then you will print the value of that object, print what exactly is going on, print what is going outside, and print what is going inside. So therefore basically this process is called as debugging. Okay, so we won't get into internal details, but yeah, print is basically a function which takes input as a string or a number. It will just print that value.
Okay, another thing is, I mean, see function, I mean, okay, what we want to achieve with that particular part, we can name it as a function.
Yes.
But like when to use bracket or see quotes, okay, I understand if there is a space in between, I will use quotes. But when to use brackets, and if I'm writing an array, how would we follow that into the bracket and functions?
Yeah. So whenever you will be using functions, right, it will always be round brackets. Okay. Whenever you will be writing, for example, there is one more function which is called as length of my name. It will give me 6. So length is a function which will give the number of characters present inside the string. SHADIR, 6 characters. So it will give this many, the length of the string, right? So always whenever you are using functions, it will always be round brackets.
Okay.
And if you are dealing with arrays which will go, then you will be using square brackets, which will be come through. But first has everybody written this code and have got the output?
Yes.
For running it, you can run it by clicking this option, or you can run it also by shift and enter, like clicking on that cell. So this we call as a cell. Okay. This thing which we have, this thing which we have is called as a cell. Now, once you click it, once you run it, you are using shift enter, it will basically run your program. It doesn't necessarily have to be only one line. One cell can contain multiple lines of code. Okay. Has everybody understood? Any doubts until now, guys? Any doubts until now? Please raise your concerns. Okay. Shall we move ahead? Please at least be interactive in the sense so that I can get a direction that, okay, we can move ahead or not. If everybody is comfortable until now, we can move ahead.
एक और doubt था मुझे.
Yeah.
So this length, right? I mean, if I'm writing a length in a layman language, I would have written in LENGTH, right? I mean, I wouldn't know like this Python understand only LEN. So how would I define, I mean, going forward, like what is the exact, the terminologies or jargons being used by Python as compared to the normal English? Because if I would have, writing without knowing Python, as a length, I would have written, in full English as length, not LEN. So I'm not able to get it, like how will I use going forward with the other functions, for
So
example length or
it is basically not exactly that is why it is a pseudo language. When I say pseudo language, it is like similar to it, not exactly same, right?
okay.
So once we go through this entire course, you will come across multiple functions and you will know, okay, what is the acronym for this corresponding function. Like you will, obviously this comes with practice. There are multiple functions and all, but you will go through it once by one.
So does it get auto-populated while we write a code? Does it happen
like
that way?
If you say LEN, not in here.
Or tab? Yeah, like we do it
not
in
in
PowerShell.
here, because this is the Google
Right.
app doesn't support. But
Okay.
if I go to if you go to Anaconda, right? Like if I go here, and now if let's say if I try something, see here it will come.
Okay.
Here it will come. When you press tab, it will automatically give you all of the possible options here.
Okay.
It will all, but here it is not supported because Google, I mean, it is not able to do that. But that is the reason why I have given you this to download this. Until this is downloaded on your laptops, we will just work around here. I will give you a brief introduction of what Python is and what exactly we can do with Python, what are tables, what are different data types available, and all that.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So yeah, if everybody has done until this, right? Have you also tried the length function? Come on, guys, please be interactive. At least yes or no पे तो बात कर लो भाई. पैसे दिए हो, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा ना. ठीक है. I will. At least you can show notifications like a thumb notifications and all. Okay. So yeah. So now I hope everybody has written this print function. This might be your first your code. Now let's suppose, right, I want to store my name. Okay, so what typically happens is Python is a programming language, okay, which is dynamic in nature. Okay, so whenever we are working with some dynamic content, when I say dynamic, it basically means it will change from time to time. That is, it is variable. At any point of time, the value of that variable or the object will change. Okay, let me give an example. I will create a variable. This is called a variable, by the way. A variable is nothing but a प्लेस इंडिकेटर, बट अ प्लेस होल्डर. बस एक वैसी चीज है जहां आप कुछ भी वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हो. जैसे कबर्ड एक प्लेस होल्डर है जहां आप अपने कपड़े रख सकते हो. सिमिलरली ये वेरिएबल भी ऐसी एक चीज है जहां आप कुछ भी वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हो। तो मैं बोलता हूँ नेम इक्वल टू मोहम्मद शादिर। ओके, अब अगर मैं बोलूंगा प्रिंट नेम, it will automatically print the value of this variable. Why? Because the value of the variable is Mohammed Shadir. Now, if I change, let's say if I now change the value to, let's say someone else. Okay, if I now do this print, then the same exact name, the name of the variable is name itself, but right now it is printing Farin Sheikh. It is not printing Mohammed Shadir. Why? Because I have updated the value of the variable.
Sir,
Yes.
the variable name, when we print it, is it case sensitive?
Yeah, it is case sensitive. It is case sensitive. For example, here I have written everything in small letters, right? But if I now write, let's say capital A, okay, if I now let's say write Mohammed, so and now print the name, then it will come Mohammed South. But if I print small letter name, it will come as Farin Sheikh. Why? Because here everything is capital, everything is here written small letters. Even one change in the case will result into a new variable. Understood? Any doubts until now? Any doubts, guys? You can either say it on the microphone. Don't be afraid. सब अपनी public है, ठीक है ना? तो don't be afraid of anyone on asking doubts. Okay. Any doubts until now? If no, can we go ahead? Any doubts, guys?
Shadir, I just want to know,
Hmm.
whatever thing, the print and the function which you are telling, I'm getting all these things, but I just want to get a brief idea. What is the use of this? Like how we are going to use it?
Yes. So suppose I will give you an example. Okay. Now I am let's say now I am let's say basic example would be what I can do with the name itself. Suppose if I want, okay, if I want to just print Mohammed, okay, let's say just print Mohammed, okay. So what I will do is I can do indexing. This we will learn, okay, but just for the example purposes. Now I want to check what does this give. It will give MOH for the starting 5 letters, okay. And by using the print function, then only I will come to know that okay, this has this, the whatever processing I'm doing, it is not able to catch the and whatever I'm requiring. That is, I should be able to get Mohammed, but I'm only getting the first 5 letters. So then I will make changes. Okay, first 5 letters, then I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will say 8. Then see, so only by using print, then only you are able to understand, okay, whatever you are trying to do, is it working fine or not? So whenever you will write, this is a relatively very small program. Okay, it is nothing. But whenever you will write big programs, whenever let's suppose you have a live website. Okay, you have a live website hosted. Now you want to know what are the different errors which are coming from different users. Then you can't just directly go into the program and see the data, right? For that, you have to do printing. That is nothing basically called as logging of the information. So you log your information by using the print function.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically what happens is, for example, whenever you will be writing a lot of programs, then you have to like also understand what the data is going in, what the data is going out. So just for debugging purposes, you use this.
Okay, okay. I hope I will like get after like if we go on deep on this one. So
Yeah, don't
like real
worry
purpose I
about
can.
yeah. I mean, don't worry about the usage. You will come to know. Okay, now if I write a very complex program, then you won't be able to understand. That's the reason why I'm not able to do it. Like I can show you some example as well. Like here is like I'm working on a chat GPT use case where I am printing everything. Okay, I am like, this is like one of the examples where I'm basically asking ChatGPT to basically be as a shopping assistant. Okay, so here I'm printing each and every conversation. Now if I want to go through each and every conversation, the best thing is I just need to print the whatever ChatGPT is telling, whatever I am telling. So this is a huge print statement. So this you can see how much lines of code I have written here. So you will see that print here, right? So yeah, you will come to know. Don't worry about it.
Sure, sure.
Is everybody comfortable on this? Any doubts until now?
No, sir.
Okay. So now uh, we will see about, yeah, we have seen about variables, right? Can you create your own variable? Let's say I want to create, let's say address. I can write address in one line, like how whatever I want. Okay, and then if I also say print address, then you will get something like this. Can you guys try this out on your laptops? And let me know once you have tried this out. You should be able to get the output. If you are not able to get the output, then we can we can solve your issue.
While typing to print address, why are we not using that double inverted commas?
Which this one?
No, no. Initially, while we were printing anything, we were putting it in double inverted commas, right? For example, print hello world.
Yeah, here also double inverted commas is used.
No, print address may why we are not putting address under double inverted commas.
Oh, here, okay, in the address. The reason why, because you're now printing a variable. As I
Okay.
said earlier, this is nothing but a placeholder. Okay. What
Okay.
it will just whenever you call address, it will just give you it won't print address. Okay. Like if I print address, it will just print address.
Oh,
Okay. But if I try to print the variable itself, when I variable itself, then it whatever corresponding value it has, it will print that.
got it.
This is
Thanks.
the difference between both of them. And by the way, thanks for addressing that. So you can also like use multiple commas, like you can use single inverted commas, like let's say word. Apple. And then the sentence, for sentence, you can use double inverted commas. Apple is healthy. And you can, for paragraph, you can use triple inverted commas, in which you can also have multiple lines. In both of these cases, you can't have multiple lines. If you do this, then it will result into an error. This is syntax error. Python is basically telling you that you cannot do here. You see the red line, right? Here Python is complaining that you can't use double inverted commas and have multiple lines. But you can do multiple lines using triple inverted commas. For example, if I write, let's say, apple is healthy and doctors always recommend to eat apple. Although it's not true, but I'm just giving an example. If I do this, then it will run. Now, if I try to print word, it will give me apple. If I try to print sentence, it will give me apple is healthy. If I try to print paragraph, it will give me the 2 lines. You can also add one more lines like apple juice is very good. And if you now run it, you will see that the value of the paragraph has been changed. This is what we call as dynamic content. So whenever the value will change, the print automatically will understand that the value of this variable will change, and it will automatically print the updated value. Any doubts, guys, until now?
Shadir, can you please move up and show me the address one? Because I'm getting the error message.
Yeah, sure.
I have used the
Your
same
time,
only.
guys. So today is the first class. You just need to understand about this tool. Just need to have a good hands-on on all these like different variables, different data types. So we won't go much into detail since today is our first day. But what I would like you to do is get some confidence on doing this hands-on on your laptop, or even like trying to on your mobile if you are able to do it.
Shadir, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let me stop sharing. Are you able to share the screen?
No. It says host
Let me.
disabled.
Yeah, can you do now?
Yes. Thank you. Let me know once it's visible. Okay. So I've used this address equal to this.
Yeah.
And I try to print address.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for actually bringing this point. Now, as I have said, Python is a case-sensitive language. Here, the only mistake which you have done, if you see on the cell number 10, you have used print with a small p, right? But
Yes.
if you see, yeah, now if you run it, it will basically give you proper.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you have also always have to keep in mind, and also don't introduce spaces between. You can directly print. Sorry, print, and then you can just directly use the curly bracket. Sorry, round bracket. Like on the line number 10, like cell number 10, what you have done is you have introduced space. Like don't do that. Like print and then directly you can say name with a round brackets. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Any other doubts?
I'm
Can you stop? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Can you guys try this out? Then like word, sentence, and paragraph. After this, I will basically give you an interesting thing. So I hope you guys are able to grasp all this knowledge as of now. Any doubts until now? You can ask.
So whenever we are writing like paragraph, we need to have like 3 quotes start and 3 quotes end.
Yes. Like this.
Okay.
So these are basically the building blocks. Okay. These are basically building blocks of learning Python. First, you have to understand what, like as we have gone through, what is a print function and how you can give input to a print function and get output, how you can declare variables. So these variables, whatever we have seen is basically, yeah, basically, all these things are strings. We call them our strings. Okay, strings, as you say, it is nothing but a combination of characters. Okay, so you can also print numbers and everything, but right now we are working with strings.
So if I understood correctly, word is the variable and apple is the string.
Yeah, word is a variable, apple is a string. So word is basically a placeholder. When I say placeholder, it's nothing but just a reference. जैसे कोई नाम देते हैं, like how we now we can have multiple skill sets, we can have multiple things, but we have a name associated with ourselves, right? Similarly, this apple is a value, but it has a name associated with itself, which is called as a word. So word is basically a variable which acts just like a name. So whenever you call your name, whenever somebody calls your name, you will reflect on that, right? जो भी जब भी कोई नाम आपका नाम बुलाएगा, आप उसको वापस देखोगे या जो भी आप करोगे, right? Similarly, whenever I will call the name of the variable in Python, it will refer to the value of it. Like here I'm calling the word variable and it is referring to apple, which is nothing but its value. Now, if I change the apple to apples, okay, it will automatically reflect. So this variable is being used because you can't always go and change, like you can't always go and say print apple, print apples. Like you can't do it like on multiple lines, right? You just have to create one variable with one word and whatever do the updation over there, and you can automatically use that. Okay, done. Cool. Thanks, Siraj. Yeah, any doubts until now, guys? So now what we will do, I hope everybody's done. If not, I can wait. Okay. Now what we will see is how to combine two variables. Okay, how to combine, how to concatenate, like how to combine or concatenate two variables. Okay, so suppose if I have my first name, okay, let's say my first name is Mohammed. My last name is, let's say, Shadir. Okay, now if I print first name and if I print last name, it will come in two different lines. Since I am printing it one after the other, वो एक के बाद एक आ रहा है. But what I want as a programmer is that I should have the entire name in one sentence. Then what I can do is create one more variable called as full name and add both of these, first name plus last name. Okay. Now if I print full name, it will come as Mohammed Shadir, although this is not readable, and that is why I will add in between a space. Now if I print this, then it will come as Mohammed Shadir. You guys can also try this. You can combine any variable, but the only thing is that both of the variables should be of the same type. Okay, These both variables are of. If you want to know the type of the variable, you can also do that. You just have to say type of first name. It will give you as str. Str is the full short form of string. We call all this data as strings. Suppose if I have a different variable, which is, let's say, roll number, and if I print roll number, and if I also print the type of roll number, you will see that this roll number is of the type of integer, which in short form we call it as int. This is called as integer. Why? Because here we have not used double inverted commas, single inverted commas, or triple inverted commas. This is nothing but a number. But what if I don't use double inverted commas and try to add a string, then it will give me an error. What is that error? That without inverted commas, you cannot assign a variable value to the variable. I have to remove this s, then only it will accept. Now suppose if I want to still go with it, then I have to create a variable like 12s with an inverted commas. But what will happen now, it although it gets printed, but the type of the variable has changed from integer to string. Now this will act as a string. Yeah, type is also a function. So type basically gives in type, inside type. Okay, if you give any variable name, let's say name, it will give you what is the type of the variable. It can be string, it can be integer, it can be list. List is nothing but arrays. It can be set, it can be tuples, it can be dictionary, which we will learn as we go along. But type will basically give you what the type of the data of the variable is. Okay, can you guys do this? Try this out first. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Umar, Faiz, Mushahid Khan, do you guys have any doubts? Imad. Imad, can you tell me your full name? Okay, speak up, guys. Don't be. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Siraj, for the confirmation. You can also try this out as well. This roll number thing. Okay, along with this thing, you can also try this out.
I have a question. So, like for example, we are naming the string, right? Like first name Mohammed, last name Shadir. So, first space. Can we type first space name, or there should not be any space in between?
Yeah. So there are certain conventions which you need to follow. Okay. First of all, your variable name shouldn't include any special characters. If I try to do this, then it's, as you can see, it is already giving me an error. It will give me syntax error. If even if a space is also a special character, if I do this, it will again give me an error. Or the only special character which is allowed is underscore.
Okay.
Okay, so if I do this, it will execute properly. But if I introduce anything else, it will always result in error. And also, you can't name a variables which starts with numbers. You can have numbers afterwards. Afterwards, anywhere you can have numbers anywhere, but it won't result in error. But it won't. But you cannot have it at the start itself.
Thanks.
Try naming it like this, then it will always result in error. The only special character which you can use is underscore. Any doubts? Okay. Can somebody summarize what all we have done until now?
Yeah, so we have discussed about functions, we have discussed about variables, we have discussed about putting string into variables and then calling out that variable value. So, and we have tried that using addresses, using a names, then the type of variable that we are adding, like integer or a string. So we have already called it out in terms of adding numbers to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
But
yeah.
I'm still getting an error.
Can you share your screen?
Just give me a moment. I'm not able to do that. Option nahi dikh raha hai.
I have enabled sharing screen.
Okay. Sorry, yaar, I'm not familiar that much on Zoom. ये किधर मिलता है option share?
There will be a green option which says.
Now it has come up. Yeah, now it has come up.
Okay.
Okay. Is it visible?
Not yet for us right now, but I guess it will come up. But you have to
Yeah. I got that option now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let me know once it's visible.
Yeah, it is visible now.
So initially what I did, I wrote that first name and last name and I called it out this variable print first name and last name. It gave me that, right? But
Okay.
when I wrote like full name, I added another variable to it. I added first name plus last name and then quotes as in space, right? 2 quotes and space in between and the last name.
Yeah.
And then I added that print full name. I called it out this particular variable. Then it should have been given that full name, right?
Yeah. So, but there's one
Last name.
mistake. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Faizan, you can.
Let me just, yeah. So Zia, I think before last time you need to put plus sign once again.
Okay.
Now it should be working.
Can you run this now?
Okay. Acha. So we need to add like, okay. Plus and then space and then plus last name.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, got it now.
Understood. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was the only part which was missing. Everything else was right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let me share my
Yeah,
screen.
I'll just stop.
Sharing it. Okay, so I hope you guys are also have done this as well, like have understood this as well.
So
Okay.
whenever we write any kind of integer, now you have added underscore to roll number, right?
Mhm.
So is it that specific to roll number is, or when we mention any kind of integer, we need to add this underscore to it?
No, I mean that doesn't necessarily mean you can also have like
Okay.
for my understanding, but
Acha.
and I can write it in camel case as well, and like
Okay.
it will work out. Doesn't necessarily, like it is up to you.
Okay.
So until now, what we were doing is that we were actually writing the name inside the Python itself, right? Like we were like saying roll number 12s or whatever. But what I want to do right now is I want to instruct Python to take input from the user, okay, and store it in a variable. Let's say I want to let's say fruit name. Okay, I will say input. Input is again another function where I can inside write your favorite fruit. Okay. Now if I run this, Python will ask me as if like you are chatting with Python, write your favorite fruit. I will write mango. And now when I call fruit name, it will have that value, whatever you have written here. This is once again an input function. As the name suggests, it takes input from the user. Instead of writing it here, it takes input from the user and stores it in a variable. Right? You can like create anything like let's say like even our previous example, first name, I can say input write your first name, and this will be last name. This will be like input write your last name. Okay, and I will say print. Now instead of defining I can even define a third variable. Let's say I can say full name. I will say first name plus this plus last. Sorry. I can stop it if required. Since I didn't complete the code, now if I say full name, it will ask for my first name. I can say Mohammed, and I can say Shadir, and it will automatically print out my full name. This we are doing it inside Python itself, but here Python is asking the user to write it.
So understood this, but what would be the use case to get this particular script run? I mean, can you share any example when we basically use it
For example,
in terms of?
let's say you are doing let's say that you are trying to enter into the server. Okay. Now the server's IP address will be dynamic. It will change at any point of time. right? Like
Okay.
if the DNS can change, the IP can change, you need to run the same exact Python script. So instead of going inside the Python file and doing the changes, what you can say at the starting of the script, that IP address, you can say input, enter IP address to be searched. Okay. Now, whatever I can do, like I can say, I can like just print it, or on real case scenario, you would be sniffing it, you will be doing your own operation. But here you are introducing the dynamic nature of Python, that before running the script itself, it will ask for the user to enter the IP address which needs to be searched. So I will run it like 101, 34, 21, 1, whatever it is. Now this will get stored and this will get used inside Python for doing all the operations.
Okay.
Otherwise, what you need to do, then you have to always go like, otherwise what would be the ideal scenario is that you will always have a IP address sort of a like where you have to define, like where you have to enter, go and change the code manually. But to keep it interactive, you can say input and the user can input it. And now by doing this, any layman can actually use your script, right? Instead of like changing the Python file itself. So by doing this, you are just increasing the usability and experience.
Okay.
Yeah. So all this, whatever you are learning, right, will come in handy as we go along. So don't worry, like we will cover each and every use case. Then you will understand that why this print function, why this input function, why this length function is very important.
Okay.
Any doubts until now? So before learning any library or any language, or sorry, any library, any package or anything in Python, you need to get all your basics. And these are plain basics. These are like the ABCs of any programming language. Any doubts until now, guys? Can everybody confirm? Okay. So you are also able to understand, right? Mohammed Saud? Okay, cool. So please raise your concern, raise your doubts whenever you have it, okay? Like everyone else as well, Mushahid, Afseen, Afia, everyone. Please, if you have any doubts, please do ask. Omar, are you able to understand this?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, okay. Are you following this on your laptop?
Oh, yeah, bro. It's on laptop only.
Okay, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, understood. So now let's do something more interesting, okay? Now I have a name variable, which has obviously Mohammed Shadir. Now I want to rewrite it. By the way, I will introduce one more thing to you guys. These are known as comments. Okay. Whenever you do something followed by a hashtag. Okay, then that line won't get executed. This line won't get executed. Okay, even if you write any random gibberish words or anything, it Python will consider this as a comment. And when do we use comment? Comment is used for let's say if you want to write what are you exactly trying to do, because sometimes you are writing very complex logic and you want to write comments at what exactly you're trying to do. Okay, so yeah, so getting error. Okay, Farin, you are missing the input function itself. Like if I copy your code, okay, oh sorry, I didn't copy. Like what the error is that you're missing the input function itself, and also in IP address as well, since it is a string, it is a collection of strings right here, because dot cannot be a number. So you have to use this, and then when you do this, then it will run automatically. Like you can say 12, 21, 2 to 2, 23. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yes. Okay. So what I was saying is that yeah, my just now let me delete this, or let me have it. So my idea is, my name is Mohammed Shadir, but I want to write it Shadir Mohammed without, yeah, even for decimal. See, not for decimal. If decimal will only contain one number. Okay, we will go through that, but like, okay, just to give an example, let's say float number. We call this at floats, right? The number with decimals, 12.22. This is your decimal number. If I say print float number, and also let's say print type of float number, you will see that it gets printed, and also the type of this variable is float. But what here Farin was doing mistake, she was introducing multiple dots. This is not allowed. Why? Because a decimal number can have only one point. That is at the starting point. Understood? Yeah, we will go through it one by one, Farin. Like I don't want to bore you right away by giving all of that. I want you guys to do it live on hands-on. Okay, so we will go. Right now I'm trying to give you a complete idea on strings. One string is completed, then we will go along with other data types. Okay. So I will, yeah. So what I'm trying to make you understand is, like, my name is like Mohammed Shadir. This is a variable. I now want to write it as Shadir Mohammed. Okay, this is my program. Okay, what I will do, what string has capability is that I can, I can not only, like, if I say print name, okay, it will print the entire name. But let's say if I just want Mohammed, then what I can do is, instead of printing name, what I can do is print name, then square bracket of, I start with 0. Okay, the numbering in Python starts with 0. Okay, remember that the numbering starts with 0, and I need to go until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I go until 8, it will give me Mohammed. Okay. Similarly, if I start from 8 and go until 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, go until 14, I will get, okay, I have to go until 15. I will get Shadir with a space. Okay. Now, if I want to write, instead of Mohammed Shadir, I want to write Shadir Mohammed without manually writing it. What I can do is I can say, I can get a one more variable, which is the updated name equal to name from, let's say, 8 to 15 plus same variable name, which starts from 0 to 8. And if I now print the updated name, then it will come as Shadir Mohammed, although without space. We can add space here. In fact, we don't even need to add space. We can just say name of 8. It will automatically add space. Why? Because name of 8 is nothing but here 8 represents your space. So each number represents one character. What typically happens here is this each number, okay, this represents 0, this represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. 8, as you could see here, 8 represents the space. That is why when I said name of 8, it automatically introduced space here. Okay, 8 and then 9, 10, 11, 12, okay, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, I hope everybody got this. So this is called as indexing. Now, indexing is very important in in every programming language. Okay, so suppose if you want the first character, let's say out of this name, if you want the first character, which is nothing but M, what you will do is you will say print name of 0. It will give you M. If you print name of 1, it will give you O. If you print name of 9, it will give you S. Why? Because at 9 you could see here the index of 9. Basically, what you are trying to do is you are trying to split the variable using indexes. By using indexes nothing but numbering system. You can play around the sequence, different sequences.
Shadir, one question.
Yes.
Okay. So here, when you type in the line number, code number 60, you have typed 8, then 15, correct?
Yes.
So it should include D as well, right?
8 and 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, D is there, right?
No. I'm talking about the last digit
This
of
one?
Mohammed. Yeah.
No. So D is 7 is D. Okay. If I start from
Okay.
7, then D
And
will,
the 8 is space.
yeah, 8 is space.
Okay, got it.
If I start from 7, okay. If I start from 7, then only like you will see that yeah, space is also included. Any doubts until now, guys? You can try this out on your name or on your own strings. You can try this out. Okay, and also guys, if you feel saturated, if you feel that okay, I mean enough information for today, do let me know. Okay, for since this is first day, I want to keep this as light as possible. I don't want to bombard you with multiple informations which you can't digest. Is anybody feeling like that? Okay. Anybody else? If you feel like that, okay, this is too much information for one day, please let me know. Okay. So since this is first day, I want to keep this light, but I let me reassure you that once you understand all these basics, right, then it will get very interesting. Then it will get, so since the once we understand the basics, and when we go with the complex things like developing applications, integrating data analysis, AI, and all that stuff, it will get very interesting. But for doing all of that stuff, we need to understand this first. Any doubts until now? Okay. So I will give you just to like bring that spirit up. I will give you an let's say variable. Let's say um, mm, let's suppose yeah, suppose month. Okay. What I want to do, let's say not month, let's say random variable, let's say feedback. I love Python programming. Okay. Now I will give you a task. I want to write this as only I love programming without manually doing it. Can you guys do this? Can you guys try doing this? The first one who will give me the solution gets a chocolate.
So you can write a variable.
Okay.
Okay. So one variable would be is equal to. If you need to skip Python, you need to write a space in quotes, or that particular
You can
that.
everything using this one variable itself. Like how I have done here. Here, like I have introduced space as well using that
Correct.
same variable itself.
Same. Correct.
Yeah, you can do everything here. You just have to skip Python. So what?
Correct.
Come on, guys. See, also let me remind you, programming is only 10% writing the program, 10% writing the syntax. 90% it is all about your thought process. How will you? Because doing this can have multiple ways. Achieving this, even right now, I can show you 4 to 5 ways of doing the exact same thing. Okay, but it's about which one is the optimal way of doing it and coming up with multiple approaches, multiple solutions to do this. But right now, as I have said, you can use this indexes, right? But the question is, how will you do it?
So do you want to refrain from another line of writing and do it in the same line that you're showing?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you shouldn't create one more variable. That's all. You
Achha.
should use this feedback variable, and on this, you have to do the indexing, and like similarly what I have done here, right? I have just used the name variable and created a new variable which got me the output. I didn't manually write it. The solution is pretty easy. I will just update.
Updated feedback.
Okay. What I will do is feedback of 0. I will start with 0 because I want I love. So 0 space, we will count space as well as a character. So 0. Okay, let me write it here. Index equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, and then it will go on, right? So I have to get until 6, right? For getting until 6, remember, we will always use one additional character. Okay, if I do this, okay, let me just, okay, feedback, right? If I do this, you will see that I love will come here. Now what is the remaining part which I want?
Programming, space programming.
So space programming, right? Space is already here. Space is already here. I just need now programming, right?
Yes.
For getting programming, what you can do is understand from here. Okay, here 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So
From 15.
I need to start from, I guess, 14. And even if you leave the empty, I mean, even if you leave it here empty, it will still take the entire word until where it ends. Okay, you don't need to specify. Even here, if you don't specify anything, let's say if you don't specify 0, okay, and you will just say I just need to go until 7, then it will still give you I love, because 0 is by default, and here whatever the last index is, it will take as by default. Okay, so now I just need to add feedback okay, and if I now print updated feedback, then you will see that I got the perfect output. Now, as I was saying that there are multiple ways of doing it. The simplest way would be, if you know about Python functions more, then there is a function called as replace. What I need to replace, this feedback dot replace Python with nothing. Then you will see it will automatically give me I love programming. You don't have to work with indexes or anything. Feedback dot replace replaces again a function which will replace Python with empty string, and it will give me what I want.
Correct, makes sense.
But for doing this, first you need to get your basics clear. For this, how does indexing work, how to do this and all that. So first doing this. Then as we go along, then we will learn multiple ways of doing this. Any doubts until now, guys? Let me just bring up my charger. By the way, today we will have class only till 9:30. I don't want you guys to be, overloaded with knowledge. Just so since tomorrow also we will be having the class. So don't worry, but we will take things slowly, okay? Until and unless you guys don't understand the topic properly, we won't move ahead. So please let me know if you have any doubts. I know as we go along, things will seem to be little complicated, little complex, but believe me, as as you go on practicing, as you go along, practicing all of this, these things will come in very easy for you guys. And if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Just a minute. Any doubts until now?
Just trying that replace wala thing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually getting confused a bit in that feedback replace, and would just like to show you.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to, but still okay. If you, I mean, we will see it in detail in another session. So,
Acha.
I mean, yeah, as of now, just, I mean, I was just trying to show you alternative, like what all we can do is using Python. It's not that it's not this complicated that you have to count numbers and do all of this, but this is like the plain basics.
No, that I understood. What the problem I was facing is with the, I'm using another function called replace that you use to replace the Python word, right? So I'm actually trying to replace a word, but I'm facing some difficulty in that, brackets and sort of those things in that particular line feed replace wala line.
Okay. Like feedback, you have to get the string. You can't just directly call replace. You have to take a string dot replace.
Correct,
and then like round brackets, and then you just mention whatever you want to replace, and then it will or with replace with what, like I can say Java here, and I love Java programming.
Yeah, so I did that. I mean, I would just like to share it again for a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Is this visible?
Yeah, it's visible. And so what the error which you are, can somebody tell me what's the error here?
I think the double comma.
Yeah, where exactly?
Okay.
Double comma? Like after don't, you didn't close,
Yeah.
so you have to close there as well, right? Can you go and close it? Like not over there, like after don't, just after don't.
Okay. 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 Acha.
Just after don't, if you close it,
Mm-hmm.
then
But it didn't get replaced. I just put nothing in place of don't.
you printed again
Ha
feedback.
ha. Okay.
You
Okay.
don't
Okay.
need to print again feedback. Remove the print statement. Now run it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
So I think this will come because I mean, sometime I get confused with respect to right now. I mean, I wasn't aware to basically close the don't wala thing. So I
Mhm.
think this will come as the time goes.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't expect you to guys to remember each and everything from day one. It will take some practice. And this is the reason why I tell people to program along with me. Because then only you will understand all the intricacies, all what all difficulties it come. Because if I just go on teaching and when you eventually end up doing it, you will come up with a lot of problems. Okay. So yeah, is everything clear until now? From what we have seen until now, is there any doubts? Okay, understood. Yeah, so I will just introduce you to two more simple data types, which is nothing but numbers. For declaring numbers, you don't need to have multiple, inverted commas. You can just do it using 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can have also decimals, which is like you can have 12.23. Okay, and if you print number and if you print decimal, it will automatically come up here. If you can also print the type of number, you can also print the type of decimal. You will see this comes as an integer. The first number comes as an integer. The float comes as a, so decimal comes as a float, right? So you can also like print inside print statement, inside print statement itself, you can concatenate. For example, variable number as type of number, variable decimal as. So what it will do, it will dynamically okay, only concatenate. I know, but remember you can only concatenate strings. So for converting, okay, for converting a now inside print statement, if you just give the number, it will print. But if you are trying to concatenate, for example, I will show you. Like first name plus last name, it will give proper. But if you are concatenating first name with, let's say, number, it will give you only type error. This is again an error in Python, which says that can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So what it basically is trying to tell you is that it can only concatenate string plus string, or it can only concatenate number with number. 101 plus 9, it is 200, right? But if you want to concatenate a string with a integer, you have to convert the integer into a string. Now, how do you convert an integer to a string is nothing but calling str function. Okay. Str function basically converts anything, any given object into a string. Now, if you now do concatenation, it will work. So similarly, what I will do is I will use str function, which is string function here in both sides. Now it is now again saying that, okay, wait, string of number. I have also the string of this, string of, see, okay, I can have, okay, variable 1 2 3 4 as type class int, variable 12.23 as type class float. This is one of the major concepts. Did you guys understand this? This is basically converting your integer into a string. For converting, suppose if you are getting some integer and you need to concatenate your integer, okay, with your string, sorry, then you have to basically convert the string into a, so the integer into a string. For converting those, you will use str function, which is nothing but string function. Any doubts, guys, on this? South Fez, any doubts? Jishan, Faizan, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay.
ये नीचे वाला नहीं समझा मुझे.
This one?
Yes.
So here what I'm doing is I'm basically printing all of the variable and its type. Okay.
Correct.
Now, if I remove the string, right, if I try to remove this, I can't add variable because here my number, okay, my number is basically a integer. I can't, like, if I try to add the number with an integer, let's say my name, it will give me an error.
Okay. Right.
That is why I had to convert this number into a string by using string function, which basically converts your integer into a string. After converting this, you are able to add it up. That is why here variable plus string of number, so that it doesn't give me an error, and
Okay.
then also string of the type of number. Yeah. Any doubts? Abhi samajh mein aaya? Like, any doubts?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you guys can try this out, and I will stop it here for today, so that I don't want to, take it much more further. But I hope, can somebody summarize what all we have seen today? You can also write it on the chat as well. So this basically also, wait, I will share it. Okay, this also, like, also comes up with a PPT. I will share this PPT as well to you guys. So this is like, we were like working with data types today, and where this is how what all we will learn. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I was just giving an understanding of all of these aspects, but I rather like people to do coding with me. Okay. So that is the reason I don't go with this PPT and all. Although I will share this PPT with you guys, so you guys can so like integer assignment, floating assignment, a string, and all this stuff, right? Like we have seen all of this. This is a theoretical part, but we won't go along with this PPT. I will just explain each and everything to you on the code itself, and you along with me also have to code. Then only you will understand it. Okay. But all these resources and also the recording of the lecture will be shared to you guys. Okay. So yeah, so I will just give you a glimpse of what all we have seen today. Okay. So we started with understanding what Python is in a glimpse, that Python is just nothing but a programming language from which you can write functions, use functions, and do automation, develop applications, and integrate AI and all that stuff. But before that, for using Python, you need to understand the basics of Python. For understanding the basics of Python, it's basically like we first started with using print function. What is a function? Function is nothing but a utility toolkit where if given an input, it will process and give you certain output. For example, in the print function, it basically inputs a string or number, or you can input anything, and it will output the value of it by printing it on the console or in the output section, right? Like we printed here, hello world, Mohammed Shadir. And then we understood about variables. Variables are nothing but placeholders. These placeholders consist of a value. It is similar to your name. Whenever you are being called out, you always will answer someone who is calling you out. जो भी आपका नाम पुकारेगा, आप उसको पलट के देखोगे, right? Similarly, here, whenever you call out the variable in this condition, which is called as name, right? You will, and the Python will basically print the value of that variable. Okay. We saw variables, and then we saw multiple types of strings available. Like you can define strings using 3 different ways. One is for word, one is for sentence, one is for paragraph, like using single, double, and triple inverted commas, right? You can define strings, and then we have seen how to define variables and how to concatenate 2 different strings, right, and create a one variable, right? And then we also have seen like the input function. The input function will basically get us the output, get us the user to input some string onto the console and give that and store that into a variable, right? And then we have also seen indexing, like how we can use indexing to manipulate the string objects. Using the same variable, I can rewrite the entire name, right, using indexes, right? And also we have seen some couple of examples, like some advanced functions like replace. And also we have seen different numbers and decimal points, how and the types of it. And also most importantly, we have seen how we can convert a integer to a string by using string function. Okay. Any doubts in this, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. How about you guys? Jishan, Siraj, Faizan bhai?
Yeah, it's good. No doubts at the moment. Like concept is clear, but the writing will be like the writing perfection will come as we go ahead with the practice sessions.
Yes, yes. So remember this thing, okay? You always have, I mean, don't think that, okay, just doing coding in this lecture will help you guys out, okay? If you want, and as I have said, coding is all about practice. The more you practice, the more you will get better at it. Okay, we will definitely do a lot of programming in this course. No doubt, we will create a lot of projects, and we will create a lot of functions. We will look into multiple things. but you also have to practice a lot. So tomorrow, before coming up to the class, I want you guys to practice this, whatever you have done on your notebooks. This by default will get saved in your, like if you go to your Google Drive, okay, like suppose if I go to my Google Drive here, it will automatically will be stored in your Google Drive. So the next time whenever you come to Google Colab, you just have to go to Google Drive, and this thing will already will be there. You can rename it here. You can just say my first Python lesson, right? And if you go here, it will, if you say file, new notebook, not new notebook, file, open notebook. If you go to Google Drive, it will be automatically will be here. If you click on this, it will automatically take you to the latest whatever you have done here. Okay, so don't need to save it. It will Google Drive will automatically save this for you. But what I am trying to tell you guys is, first of all, download this and you have to install it. Okay, this installation is very plain and basic. Okay, it is as equivalent to installing any other software in Windows. Just have to click next, agree, next, nothing else. As you might have installed any other program, any other software similar to that, just have to install this. Okay, and what I want you guys to do is revise this once before coming to the class. Then only you will understand the upcoming class. Otherwise, you will always feel confused. The more you practice, the more you will understand. Okay, guys? Okay, I will take that silence as an input. Yeah, so that
For installing that Anaconda exe file,
yeah.
Do we have any prerequisites for that?
Have you downloaded it?
Yes.
Can you share the screen? I will just show you so the entire. Has it loaded, Jishan bhai?
Yes, it has. I'm sharing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the introductory this thing. Now what you do, you go to Jupyter Lab and say launch. Yeah, launch. It will basically open up a similar sort of environment what you have seen in Google Colab, but it will be your own. Okay, like you will run it locally. It will take some time, but yeah, it will open up. It will open up in your default browser.
Okay.
Can you click on it again once more, launch?
I just did. I mean, it's getting open. I only shared one window.
Acha, okay. But it is working, right? Like you are
correct. Yes. It gives me a notebook of Python 3.
Yeah.
And it gives me a console.
Yeah. You can just now select Python 3 on that. Okay.
Under notebooks, right?
Under notebooks, yeah. Under notebooks, Python 3 notebook, and you will get similar.
Yes.
What you have seen. This is all. This is all you need to do. Just install it. Next, agree next, and then once you run the Anaconda Navigator, you will get to see all of this. Okay. So yeah, that's it, guys, for today. Any doubt? So my recommendation is, tomorrow just go through this once, revise it once, okay, before coming to the class, and let me know if you have any doubts. So, and if you have any doubts, we will discuss those doubts in the class also. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for joining. I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy learning. Bye.